Wait, what? What's up, everybody? My name is Phoenix Clouden. This is a Day or So Late Movie Reviews, and I'm coming to you today to talk about a movie from 1985, slightly a while ago, but it was a fairly popular movie and an iconic movie, so I've been told. So I had to watch it. And that movie is, of course, The Breakfast Club. Now, I was around in the 80s, but technically not a child of the 80s. I'm a child of the 90s, and I'm so proud of that. But as a child of the 90s, like, we were really experiencing 80s movies. We're really actually coming out of the 80s, so there's a lot of leftovers there. And there's a lot of movies that I never checked out from the 80s that I decided I should really go back and see. One of them on my list was The Breakfast Club. And how can I put this delicately? I know the 80s were a different time. Oh God. But I did not I didn't get it. I'm sorry. I didn't get it. I thought now, mind you, if I placed myself in the 80s, The Breakfast Club is extraordinarily original. However, having grown up with every single copy, every single like Breakfast Club remake type of archetype type movies, uh, I realized The Breakfast Club is part of the reason why people hate a lot of those high school atypical. It was a thing that they made fun of in Not Another High School Movie. But yeah, that's essentially what The Breakfast Club is. It's this. You got the bad boy, you got the jock, you got the goody two shoes girl, like you got the nerd, and to me, it just, it was just who cares? Like, I mean, it's such a who cares movie. Um, and basically, these guys that are in detention, they don't really know each other. Half of them don't like each other, and in the end, of course, they all end up becoming friends. They all bond over detention. And the thing that threw me is that at the end, mind you, this movie's over an hour long. Never once do they mention breakfast. And at the end, he's writing the note to the teacher and he calls them the Breakfast Club. And I was like, why are they called the Breakfast Club? That is stupid. Like, call them the Detention Club. Call them the I don't know, the typical club. I don't know, but calling them the Breakfast Club made absolutely no sense to me. It was literally never mentioned. I don't think at all. Not even once. So I was thrown by that. Uh, of course, it obviously features one of the most classic songs, "Don't You Ever Forget About Me," which is fantastic. Uh, Directed by John Hughes, who's one of the greatest directors of the 80s. Like, literally directed everything in the 80s. But overall, man, the movie was, I think my this is the movie where, having been in the time that it came out, really would have mattered. I feel like if I was born in maybe like the late 70s, and witnessed this movie as a young kid in the 80s, it really would have struck a chord. It really would have felt very genuine as to where we were in as a culture at that time. Having watched it now, 30 some odd years later, it's I get why it's a classic, but overall, it's a really corny 80s movie. That's really the only impression I could get from it, is that it's just extraordinarily corny. Um, uh, Many of the characters, I genuinely did not feel for any of these characters, mainly because they were fitting these archetypes that I had seen so many times before. Uh, you know, you got Judd Nelson and Emilio Estevez, you know, and I couldn't care less. It was just I genuinely couldn't care less. Now, uh, in terms of culture, I see exactly where it fit into the culture, but in terms of the movie itself, there was really nothing compelling about the writing, nothing really compelling about the story, and of course, where it ends is just this weird place. I hated the fact that I pretty much figured where the movie was gonna go, sort of midway through, having, like I said, having seen all the archetypal, uh, stereotypical high school movies that this movie was based off of. Uh, you know, seeing the jock fall for the pretty prissy girl, ugh, just made me sick. Like it just made me sick. You know, the bad boy and the good girl, ugh, they just have to be together. It was just, so to me, I guess what it was seeing it 30 some odd years later was seeing a lot of the uh, a lot of the tropes beginning, and and that's what really stuck for so long. And I'm glad that they pretty much ended that trend. They stopped doing the stereotypical high school movies, and some I love. Like I loved 10 Things I Hate About You. I absolutely love that movie, but I think of all of the high school stereotype movies, I think that one's probably the best uh, that's been done that I can think of. I'm sure there are others, but that's the one that I think that comes to mind. That stands out. The Breakfast Club for me is not a movie I can watch again. I respect it for the time that it was in and what it did, but for me, it doesn't do it. So for me, the movie overall gets a D. That's a D for detention, because that's where it should stay. But uh, let me know if there's any other movies you think I should review, and I'm looking forward to going through them with you guys. So my name is Phoenix Cloud, and this has been a Day or So Late Movie Reviews. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.